We've gathered 11 common mistakes that will make your cat feel like you don't really love them. From specific phrases you say to toys you chose for your play sessions, there are a few unintentional ways you can hurt your kitty. Make sure to watch till the end because so many people make at least one of these. Mistake number 1. Psst, 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 psst. These are the noises that we are taught from childhood to use when calling cats, but unfortunately, our cats may not actually enjoy hearing them. To some cats, the repeated S sounds in these common phrases sound like hissing, a noise that, in cat language, signals aggression. If your cat seems to respond negatively to these noises, try switching to clicking your tongue or making kissing noises by sucking your lips against your teeth. These sounds should enable you to get your cat's attention without risking sounding aggressive. Mistake number 2. There's nothing funnier than watching a cat chase a laser pointer around the floor, going half crazy trying to get at that little red dot. But of course, they never will get it. The moment they put their paws on it, it leaps away. And eventually, when the human player gets bored, it vanishes. This is fun for us, but it can become frustrating for our cats. Most of a cat's favorite games are centered around pretending to hunt. They stalk, they pounce, they kill. If there's a disruption in this routine too often, because they're unable to kill a laser pointer, then they can become distressed. An easy way to solve this problem to everyone's satisfaction is to combine the laser pointer game with something else. If you finish up the game by switching to a toy that your kitty can catch a hold of, then you still get to watch them chase the laser. But your cat gets to satisfy their feline killer instincts. Mistake number 3. Cats, perhaps more than any other domesticated pet, have very clear ideas about personal autonomy. It may not be clear what they're doing or why it's so important, but by God, they're going to insist on finishing it. As a result, they tend to react very poorly to humans coming to unexpectedly pick them up. Not only is it a disruption to their important feline business, it's also a huge invasion of personal space. If a cat tries to avoid being picked up by wriggling away or digging their claws into the ground, then they should be left on the ground. Mistake number 4. Cats are intensely scent-oriented creatures. Your cat's nose is as important to them when it comes to experiencing the world as your eyes are to you. Their sense of smell is a whopping 14 times more sensitive than ours. With this in mind, consider what it smells like when somebody drops a bottle of perfume or sprays it too close to your nose. Even if the original scent is lovely, too much of it becomes unpleasant and overpowering. For your cat, this problem is magnified tenfold. As a result, the smells that humans like, because they are strong enough for our weak noses to pick up, are often ones that cats hate. For example, citrus scents like oranges and lemons, herbs like thyme and rosemary, and even certain flowers like lavender. Mistake number 5. Many outdoor cat owners who are worried about their cat's impact on local wildlife will choose to put a bell on their collar in an attempt to prevent them from being able to sneak up on their prey. This is a kind idea, but it doesn't always work out well for your cat or the birds. A cat's ears are 3 times more sensitive than human ears. A bell around the neck would be annoying to us, but to a cat, it can be maddening. But what's worse is that, because of the sheer irritation of having it ring all the time, a lot of cats who wear a bell will, through trial and error, learn how to adjust their walking speed and gait so as to avoid shaking the bell's clapper. The birdies won't be so safe after all. A good alternative to the belled collar that your kitty can't work around as easily is a bright-colored bird collar, which will prevent your cat from camouflaging themselves whilst hunting, but won't cause them any distress. Mistake number 6. Vacuum cleaners, a cat's oldest enemy. Not only do they make that terrifying roaring sound as they rampage through the house, but they potentially pose a serious risk to a careless kitty's tail. Obviously, we're not suggesting that all cat owners stop vacuuming forever, but it can be a huge help to your cat's anxiety if you take the time to shut them in a separate room on cleaning day. In the same vein, fireworks. You can't stop your neighbors letting them off on New Year's Eve, but you can ensure that your kitty is locked inside on holidays when fireworks are likely to happen. Try keeping them away from windows during the display so that they will have less exposure to the noise, and consider putting on music or a TV show to drown out some of the sound. Mistake number 7. It's hard to resist the urge to hug your cat. They're just so cute. How can you not squeeze them? But resist you must. Cats in general don't like hugs. You might have seen cats hugging each other by wrapping their front legs around another cat to hold them down while grooming. But these gestures don't involve the kind of pressure that a human hug involves. You are a lot stronger than your cat, and your arms are a lot longer than their legs. From a cat's perspective, being hugged by a human involves being trapped in their arms with no escape, which is not something they tend to be fond of. Mistake number 8. Having a litter box in the house may be better than having to follow your pet around with a purse full of little plastic bags, but it's still not great. Even the most well-maintained litter box can start to pong a bit by the end of the day. As a result, scented cat litter is becoming more and more popular. Simply sprinkle it in the tray, and you can pretend that your cat's poop really does smell like roses. Except, of course, that your cat has to smell it as well. Not only can the strong, unfamiliar smell overwhelm your cat, but it also makes the litter box smell less like their pheromones. Cats use their poop and pee to mark their territory and derive a sense of safety from being able to smell, even after the litter has been scooped, their personal pheromone scent on the box. Having a strange new smell covering that up can cause them distress, and may cause them to start going outside the box instead. Mistake number 9. As you probably already know, a cat's whiskers are designed to help them judge whether they can fit into small spaces, thus ensuring that they don't get stuck. But their whiskers aren't always clear about what counts as a small space. Your cat is unlikely to try diving Scrooge McDuck style into their food or water bowls, but if the brim touches their whiskers, they'll still find it uncomfortably claustrophobic. A cat's bowl should be big and shallow rather than small and deep, so that they can drink in comfort without having to shove their whole head inside. Mistake number 10. You might have seen some videos on TikTok featuring people surprising their cats with, of all things, cucumbers. The cucumber is hidden somewhere, where the cat will unexpectedly discover it, sometimes right behind them, and then the human watches in delight as the kitty sees the cuke and jumps 10 feet into the air. Unfortunately, hilarious as it may be, this kind of prank isn't really fun for the cats involved. Cats jump at cucumbers because the thin green shape looks, at first glance, like a snake. Placing these around the house to surprise a cat can lead them to feel like their home is no longer safe, and becoming distressed as a result. Mistake number 11. When friends come over, it's natural that they want to see the cat, and even more natural that you want to show your little darling off to the world. But if your cat doesn't choose to come out and say hi during the visit, you should never force them. Forcing a cat who isn't ready to socialize to interact with unfamiliar humans feels, to the cat, like their beloved cat parent is putting them in physical danger. They don't understand that these are your friends and that they would never hurt a cat. In their mind, you've betrayed them utterly by delivering them into the hands of the enemy. In extreme cases, this can permanently damage the bond between cat and human. For more tips on how to care for your cat, check out this video on signs that your cat sees you as their protector.